Be me. Read the meme about pranking someone by editing their code by replace their semicolons with Greek question marks. Delightfully devilish Seymour greater than decide to do it to a young intern that I'm supervising. All his files are on the common network. Wait for him to go on break. Change up a file he's working on while keeping a backup. He comes back 10 minutes later. To his surprise it stops compiling. As the guy responsible for him he asks me for help. Before I go over to his desk I replace his file with the backup. He tries to show me the problem but it compiles with no issues. Confusion ensues. He's just glad it compiles so I go back to my desk. Replace the file again. Of course he calls me over again. Restore it again. Tries to show me the issue but fails yet again. Struggling so hard not to let out a smile but manage to hold it in. Desperation.jpg. The cycle repeats a few times before I tell him off. He stops calling me over after this, despite me still fucking around with the file. God bless the IDE that doesn't point out what character is fucked. Be me. Learning C++ through you and I. Start to really enjoy C++. New assignments are given out. MFW it's boring homework that I can finish in a day. Decide to go beyond the homework and start adding Easter eggs for the TAS to grade. First one was simple. Once the program completed it asked would you like to know more, then if you typed yes it would clear the terminal and display a text story. TAs got a laugh out of it and wanted more. Next homework did the same thing and had them type yes at the end of the program. This time it ran a separate program that allowed you to play Brick Breaker in the terminal. Kept building cool shit and started to get talked about at school. One day professor came to me and asked me why I was doing more than the homework required. IDFK I guess I was bored and needed something to do. So professor offered me a job to TA incoming students. Accepted on spot. Now I get to make the homeworks and see the cool shit others build. Some homeworks I make require some external source code. So I always make sure to include a little funny Easter egg in the external code to keep the students' spirits up. Sometimes it pays to go a little beyond. Be me. Clueless. Check disk prices for a cheap HDD, just need something to boot off of basically. Buy SAS Enterprise drive, thinking I got a steal. Used. Oh cool, free HDD enclosure for a rack or something. Try plugging it into computer. Can't connect it. There's a nub of plastic on the connector. I am now aware the connectors are different, not completely, just like a DSN 3DS cartridge. After some searching, learned they apparently have different voltages and you couldn't use a SAS drive with a SATA connection even if I sand off the nub. I feel so educated, darn brothers. Be me. Get assigned to refactor, rewrite 20-plus-year-old application for my company. All written in VB, get told to port it to C# and clean it up. 40 DB queries in the codebase, also 40 SQL injection vulnerabilities. Even selects without a where clause are vulnerable because they're building the table name dynamically. Constant use of object for no apparent reason, even when they knew the type they were working with. A bunch of auto-generated comments from some VB6 to VB.NET migration tool they used 15 years ago. Even though the codebase has been incrementally updated over the years, they've never even tried to clean anything up, just new cruft and tech debt. DB gets queried 1,000 times in a loop instead of once, 999 of the results from the DB stay unused anyway. Stuff like this all over the code. Code is only 2 files, one with 4000 plus lock, the other 12000 plus. Has anyone here ever had a good experience with PageUp devs? Or are they all this bad? Be me. Cannot justify buying a phone just for work. Have work Slack on my phone. Go to share some NPC relatable pic to the company's #random channel. Use Android's photo picker from within the Slack app. Select photo and press send. Realize I sent a /s/exe pic. Delete it faster than the speed of light. Pray that nobody saw it. How the fuck is that possible and shit droid? I'll need to switch to Apple now. Me. Get hired at tech company during the pandemic. They say I'll always be able to do remote. Get a house and start a family a couple states away from my team's office. Skip ahead a few years to last week, and upper management says lol JKRTO 5 days a week or you're fired dickhead. Notice I live 20 minutes away from one of the company's offices, just not the one my team is based out of. Ask manager if I can go into that office instead. They reply LMAO nope, either pick up your entire life and move like we said you wouldn't have to or go fuck yourself. MFW. Me. Try Firefox. Huge ass tabs. Search how to make Firefox tabs smaller. Click on the URL bar. Type google.com. Search how to make Firefox tabs smaller. Compact mode was removed. Uninstall. Why is Firefox sucks so bad? Me. Consultant sent by vendor to help the customer with their day-to-day operations around the tool. Company gets a tech lead from an Indian consulting company because our work is low priority. Guy is so incompetent that he has to be told not to put his plaintext password in the scripts on the server. Had never used Git or Linux before this role, even though he was 50 plus and had been working for over 20 years. Couldn't read and understand documentation and make simple changes in config files. Couldn't Google simple things. Couldn't understand painfully obvious messages in logs. Someone else had to read and explain code to him and he blamed it on the scripts being written in Python, not that it should matter to any half-decent engineer. Guy was finally kicked out after wasting the company's money for 8+ months and producing literally nothing useful in his time here. The company had already pulled out their own senior engineers out of our team, so his incompetence was only brought to light when management saw his report written in awful English. Me. Web dev, making a landing page for some shitty website for a company that weaves baskets. Include literal hundreds of JS packages including one that literally just acts as a boolean. I am not making that up, it exists. Boss Goldstein takes me aside at the office one morning. The page is downloading 70 MB of data and crashes browsers on all machines without at least 8 GB of RAM. TFW, the page is 2 paragraphs of text and 4 images. C.web, smaller sizes I hear. Say no more. Echoes throughout my head.